Hi, I'm Benjamin Michael McFarland, an aspiring poet, and I wanted to talk about my book, 666 Wicca. 666, for those who wonder why I call it that, is this craft. Acrostic squares, palindromes, and anagrams used in magic. And if you anagram them, acrostic squares acquires or casts. That means the acrostic square is the actual spell, and that's why you're supposed to put it in the magic circle. Palindromes adorn, simple, and implores. Those are just basically instructions or things like adornments. And then the anagrams is great shaman. For this, anagramming is how you figure out what you're supposed to do. It is the Lucifer and Diana cult. It's not the devil, though. It's Apollo and Diana. But since it came out in Palindrome and Aiden Ref, I call it Lucifer and Diana. It begins with, like the homonym cross, a homonym star. And that reads, I, aloud, which spells I knew would work, which spells I knew would work. Idle rights, your size, here seen, here seen. And there's an example of that. An example of an acrostic square is shown here. Hark, amen, read, new. That means we're supposed to hark to read. And then the read is right here. It's an anagram. And then I have 4 pages of just word anagrams right here, for example. One's virtue, for instance, reform former, or earnest nearest, or edify deify. Edify deify is wonderful. It means edification can bring people to deification. Then it talks about what sin is to Wicca, and then love is, and then it has the craft. And then 66, the tenet. And then 666 as a palindrome, 666, an acrostic square, the 666 solar acrostic square, done in letters and numbers. Each line equals to 111, and total they equal 666. And then anagram, DCLXBI, one of every Roman numeral equals 666. 1 plus 5 plus 10 plus 50 plus 100 plus 500. There's a doctrine in it, and it's all done in anagram. Here are the 2 gods of this cult. This cult is the Red Royal Order, because Red Royal Lay Order is a palindrome, so it's the Red Royal. Here's the 2 gods in it, Apollo and Diana. And these 2 squares are actually satyr squares. They read the same in any direction. This says the gold sun. This says Diana wings void's room. They're in Spanish. There's some invocations in the book. And then I did for the rights, I did a palindrome across the square and an anagram to tell what to do and in what order and how to do it. And then the rituals, anagrams to Hail Truest. Here's the sonnet I wrote. And this sonnet is the beginning for every coven meeting on the Sabbath. Each line is an anagram of the preceding line, so all 14 lines have the same letters reorganized to spell different sentences. I am the holy God, denounced fierce sins, lay teachings hid from us dead to none, told none of it shady magic used earth in, and created ashy doom, insightful one. Diana come, only faith, goddess hunter, lady of the moon, graced in the sun's aid, and Noah's day, host eminent God Lucifer, the one of horns and magic's duty laid, honor him new, to God's facilitate, cast energies had, hound family do not, enrich you ghost of element and aid, our dance and song with deity shame loth. Each stone is monthly figured in a dew, each lifted hand stoneman's daring you. So that sonnet's sent on in anagrams. That's what's supposed to be read at each Sabbath. Here is an example of a Sabbath. The Yule I began with, which is the Christmas holiday. There's the square that you put underneath the cauldron in the sacred circle. And here's a brief example. I take the first ritual of the Yule and then I anagram it over and over again to tell us what to do. So the first ritual of the Yule is to fuel lay the fire, truth heartfelt shout, fitly rue I the afterlife. Shout I truly, fire is utterly hateful hot. Shout fit, hell iterate fury. Yell I, a fire hefts out truth. Shout I all, fire refute it, utter all. Forfeit yet I, hush, after this refuel lit youth. Each Sabbath is different, but they're basically the same. You create the circle of stones. You put the across the square in it. You light a fire over it with a cauldron boiling in it. You salt and oil the fire. And then you make idols, put them on an altar. Everybody does the ritual for that of prayer. Then you gather around the fire, say stuff around the fire, and dance. And dance is anagrams to ascend. That's how you ascend to the gods. And this has astral projection as part of the process, to where you dance, you sing a song that's an anagram of the first ritual of whatever Sabbath it is, or second ritual. And then you're supposed to come in contact with Apollo and Diana during this. And then the third ritual is usually just eating and stuff you do afterwards. But there's more than just the first, second, or third ritual. The spell of the Yule. I anagram the spell of the Yule and tell you what to do. The spell of the Yule, fell hush let, pot eye, the fly, toupee, shell, the left shoe up yell, teeth, full posy, heel, fuel, Ethel, hop, steel, sloth eye, flute, help out Shelley, the pelf. Pot yet shell fuel he to seed helpfully. The poet feel lushly, tell the hope, use fly, shout hell feel type. And I have all of the Sabbats and an Esbat. And then the second part of the book, here I actually did anagram the ritual shorter to tell you what to do. The first ritual, firelit truce, is setting up the fire. Second ritual, the cauldron, said I, setting up the cauldron. Their candles out, put the candles out that you had lit. Dance, soul hitter, that's when you do the dance around the fire to reach the gods. Cast out or in hell, that's the astral projection to the gods. Chant Lord at us, that's singing the song. And then the third ritual is just laid their truth. And then the second half of the book is the spells, which anagrams to hell steps. And then the spells they're mostly love spells. A few of them are power spells. For example, this is how it's written. It has the square that you put in, and then it tells you what to do as far as creating sacred space and what you say and do to make the spell enacted and how to cast it out. And there's a lot of spells. And then it concludes with 666 firm idea, rear mark. The tribulation obtain lie truth. So that means this magic is for the great tribulation. It's supposed to work then when the mark of the beast is enacted. And that the reason for taking 666 is to practice this witchcraft. I'm not saying I want to take it. I want to be a Christian, but I had to write this because it's my invention. It started out Christian, and there is a Christian side to 666, but the more and more I solved squares and palindromes and anagrams, I found it was Wiccan too, so I decided to write a Wicca book. But yes, this is 666 Wicca. I believe it's prophesied in the Bible. But yet, nobody cares. Nobody's buying it. Nobody's reading it. But that's my book. I'm very proud of it. It's my son that's going to hell. And this 666 Wicca is pagan. It's not satanic. It's pagan. It's Apollo and Diana. And Hades is the afterlife, just like the Greeks knew. The Greeks knew everybody went to hell when they died. So it's not reincarnation like some witches deceive themselves into believing. But that is this book. It's available at the link below for $10 on Amazon.